I don't think that we have to go back, like a lot of therapists believe, to the childhood and mommy issues or daddy issues in order to help somebody heal from trauma. I just don't think that you have to dig like that. Yes, we're supposed to gain insight from what terrible experiences we went through, but it's kind of fascinating that we tend to do everything to escape our dragons or our demons and run away from them, and that's the wrong thing to do.
One of the things you've talked about with people who have PTSD and TBI is this the importance of not just going straight into talk therapy or any sort of treatment. Can you talk more about that?
You best not pop that egg open if the person's not ready and doesn't have the skill set in order to self-regulate themselves back to some sort of homeostasis. There's such an excitement or romance for therapists to get into trauma therapy and that have never been through a trauma in their life. And it's like, you guys don't understand. This is dangerous work. You can really hurt somebody. You can cause somebody to become suicidal if you crack that egg open too quickly and you can't get jacked back in the box, basically. And I've been working with trauma for a while, not as my primary intervention, but people who have been traumatized, I should say that. And it's in the EEG, electroencephalogram, we can actually see patterns that would tell us if a person's got the capacity to even do the therapy. And most often, they're not sleeping worth a darn. They've got brain inflammation, this particular pattern we just identified, spindling excessive data. They've got hypervigilance. They can't hardly close their eyes. They're always scanning. And you got to pick up on these things in order to effectively help them and help them make this idea. So when we do neurofeedback, what I like about this is because we can help make the brain more functional so that the brain's got the capacity to do the therapy. And then everything seems to come natural. It doesn't have to be forced. Men, who are the ones I primarily work with trauma, they don't like to talk anyway. We hate therapy. That's the last thing on our minds. You don't want to talk about anybody with anything, especially veterans don't want to talk to somebody that's never been in war about what they've gone through. We just don't do that. We just can't talk. You ever kill anybody? In their question, it's ridiculous. So, and when it does come, my approach is it's going to come. It's going to come naturally, and there's something to process in there. We can process it. But it's I don't think that we have to go back, like a lot of therapists believe, to the childhood and mommy issues or daddy issues in order to help somebody heal from trauma. I just don't think that you have to dig like that. Yes, we're supposed to gain insight from what terrible experiences we went through, but it's kind of fascinating that we tend to do everything to escape our dragons or our demons and run away from them, and that's the wrong thing to do. You got to use approach coping methods, not avoidance coping methods like drugs and alcohol and video games or whatever to get away from. But you got to be able to approach your demons, but you got to be able to have a sense of self before you do this, because that's what the main work in therapy is to help a person reattach to themselves. And that's what a lot of focus has not done. In my opinion, a lot of therapy sessions, it's all about, well, let's talk about the history, mama, dad, and everything. It's like, no. Guys don't want to come into therapy and dig up old stuff. Guys want to fix something. That's what we do, is fix something. And my job is to kind of give them solutions. So maybe, well, why don't you change your look at it from a little bit different perspective. What did you gain from that experience? They look kind of weird. It's like, you gain from every negative experience. What's different about you now than it was before? And that's why I got my healing film. And there's a whole lot I gained from all the negative experiences. In fact, if it wasn't for the negative experiences, I wouldn't be right here now. So you got to learn to appreciate your life's journey, because unless you appreciate it, you're just going to waste a bunch of time, energy, and money running away from it.
For you personally, what was the hardest thing for you to learn to appreciate that you appreciate now?
I would say it would have to go back to the way that people were really treated us after we got. I'd never been treated like that in my entire life. And that was a real eye.
Yeah.
So
Are you open to sharing like just more detail about like what that was like coming back for you?
shunned. Um, they told us to change our uniform as soon as we hit the airport bathroom. Of course, they could see our haircuts. Obviously, were military and stuff like that. There were people that were spitting on the street. Just it was terrible. Some of the things that did. Uh, there was signs put up in the people's front lawns: keep all dogs and airmen off my property. Oh gosh, and just the whole attitude. It wasn't our fault. We weren't the people creating the war. We rallied the pawns at war.
Right.
And I think that the war has changed. There's a book by Bobby Rowe, I think it is, Why Sex Matters, and it talks about how wars changed years. That in medieval times, it was the kings and the knights that were leading the charge. They were on the front lines. Well, then the invention of the gun changed everything, because now some little squirrely guy could sit behind a tree and kill the biggest king there was. And so they said, no, we got to get behind the lines, and all you little pawns go out there and fight the war. And so when they did that, the general stayed way back, and all the little grunts like I had to be on the front lines. It was like there's no investment. And now we got the industrial military complex, making millions off of our wars that are useless. I think that's the big thing I've got a problem with right now is worthless wars. We don't give anything. We don't gain anything. We haven't won a war since World War II. And it's just frustrating to see so many young guys killed and maimed uselessly, worthless. And so that has given me greatest appreciation for living. I hit 72 last night. I am so glad I got this deal worked out with God. Give me another day and help as many as I can. So far, he doesn't want me. I kind of like that. But I think that's the biggest thing. Appreciation for life itself. Appreciation. We don't have a guarantee. It could be snapped away from us in a second. Surviving 2 wars, surviving the fire department for 20 years and all the runs we went on. I shouldn't be here right now. As a commercial diver, some of the things I got in, I was an underwater demolition expert. Did some crazy stuff offshore and survived everything. So God must have had a plan. And I'm here and I'm just doing the best I can with what I've got.